So the Niners are going to the freaking Super Bowl. What? Pretty amazing. Uh, I'm going to take you through my grades real quick. This is going to be an abbreviated post-game Periscope because I didn't drive today. I carpooled with Phil Barber of the Press Democrat. We only had one parking pass. I'm going to do the best I can to get all my thoughts in here and take as many questions as I can. But this may only last 10 minutes. And if I don't get to your questions, then I'll do this again tomorrow morning and we can try it again. So Garoppolo, 6 throws, 6 completions, 8 throws. I'd give him a B. He didn't have to do much. But when I came into the game, I was interviewed on a radio station in Rhode Island yesterday, the day before, and they said, what numbers does Jimmy Garoppolo need to hit to win this game? And he was thinking yards, touchdowns, and I said, 0 picks. That's it. It's all that matters. If he throws no picks, they win. If he throws 1 or 2, they'll lose. He threw no picks. I gave him a C last week. I'll give him a B this week. He'll have to do more to beat the Chiefs, but we're not there yet. Let's get to Mostert. I don't get why Kyle Shanahan continues to start Tevin Coleman. And every time he's in the game, I feel like he's doing the other team a favor by not giving it to his best running back. So when Coleman left the game with a shoulder injury, I mean, I feel terrible for Coleman, but in a way, it forced the Niners to actually play their best player or their best running back. And he was fantastic. I mean, I've been saying all year he's their best running back. I didn't realize he was this good. What's fun about Raheem Mostert is he makes the position look so easy. He doesn't cut a lot. He pretty much just runs straight. It's like if he were a Madden player and he just had more turbo than everyone else. It's like his acceleration never ends. He's so much fun to watch, and he's one of their most valuable players of the season. Juszczyk was great too. Hell of a blocker. The wide receivers, Deebo Samuel was great for a rookie. I mean, the end arounds, the catches, he had like almost 100, almost 90 total all-purpose yards. You know, at 0 yards was Emmanuel Sanders, who really has become an afterthought. I'm not sure. I wonder if the Niners are going to bring him back next year. They probably will, but I think it's something they have to think about. He's an older wide receiver, and they may not need him. Debo's that good. What else we got? Tight end, George Kittle. I'd also give him an A+. I gave the wide receivers a B. I give Kittle an A+ in the tight ends because even though he had 1 catch, he was the reason the Niners ran for all those yards. Even more so than Mostert. Mostert's terrific, but he couldn't do what he's doing without elite blocking on the edges. And it's 9 times out of 10 George Kittle, the guy who's blocking around the edges, because the Niners' outside zone scheme doesn't work unless you have dominant blockers at tight end and tackle. The Niners have that. I give the offensive line an A+ too. Gave up 1 sack and paved the way for 285 rushing yards. I want to give just real quick praise and credit and congratulations to Joe Staley. You know, a lot of people didn't like me when I was covering this team the last few years. I was really hard on the team. But one of the reasons I was so hard on management and the coaching staff, and I felt that, you know, going through 5 years of being one of the worst teams in the league was so unfortunate and not part of the process, was Staley. I mean, it's an all-time great player, one of the Niners' best players in franchise history, and they just wasted a good chunk of his prime. And every year that went by when Jim Tomsula was floundering around or Chip Kelly was wasting time, I felt, you know, what part of tanking helps Joe Staley? How is that doing right by one of your all-time greats? You know, he's only sacrificed himself for the 49ers, and they didn't reciprocate, and now they finally have. And he, you know, for years I'm sure he felt there was no reason he was never going to get back to the Super Bowl. And you know, what's interesting, a lot of those players jumped ship on the Niners in 2014 when Harbaugh left and Tom Sula became the head coach. Justin Smith retired, Patrick Willis retired, Chris Borland retired. A lot of people left and gave a vote of no confidence, and they were right. They could see what was going on. Staley didn't do that. He had made enough money. He could have left. He could have demanded a trade, and he would have been within his rights. Who would have really criticized Joe Staley for saying, you know what, you guys got 5 years of rebuilding ahead of you. I'm 31. Get me out of here, please. He didn't do that. So he was rewarded. Really nice to see that he gets to go to the Super Bowl. By the way, I get to go to the Super Bowl. I'm going to the Super Bowl. How about that? Defensive line, I gave them a B. The pass rush was effective, and they forced Rodgers to get rid of the ball very quickly. The run defense wasn't great, and if the game had been closer, that might have been an issue. But it wasn't close because the Packers could not stop the run. It's like they had never seen a run play before in their life. So anyway, let me get to that in a second. You predicted 6-10 this season. Can you speak on that? Yeah, I was wrong. I didn't think the defense would be this good. I didn't think the offense would be this good. Now, in my defense, when I was making this prediction and watching the team in training camp, the starting wide receivers were Marquise Goodwin and Dante Pettis. And this team wouldn't have gone as far with those two as the starting wide receivers, but they had guys in reserve. This team was much deeper than I realized. Thanks for praising my sports jacket. It's a Armani. How about that? It was secondhand though. Yeah, if you guys want me to eat crow, if that's what you guys are coming here for, would really entertain you, I'm happy to do that. The linebackers were cool. I gave them a B. Warner made that nice pass breakup down the field on the throw to Jimmy Graham. Quan Alexander did not start, remained a strong side linebacker, part-time player. The defensive backs, I gave him a B+. Richard Sherman gave up the 65-yard catch to Devontae Adams, and then it intercepted Rodgers to win the game. It's funny. Like, I've been really harping on Sherman all year and showing you guys clips of how he's not as good as he used to be and how he gives up separation. And it's true. I mean, it's true. And you saw even the Packers were like, okay, like we have to do this. We have to go after him. And the thing is, it works maybe once or twice or three times in a game. But if you are committed to throwing at Sherman, he's going to pick you off. And he did. So great game for Richard Sherman. Great game for having Jaquiski Tartt's really, really important for this team. And he left the game with some injured ribs. It'll be interesting what happened to him. I'd give the special teams an A. Richie James had that 26-yard punt return. Robbie Gould made a 54-yard field goal. I'd give the coaches an A too. I was I was telling Robert Saleh how to do his job all week, and I said you needed to shut down Devontae Adams. They didn't. They gave up 100 and something yards, but he didn't score. And really, the defense didn't matter because, again, the Packers couldn't stop the run. So I want to give Kyle Shanahan credit because a lot of play callers, even when they're up big in the second half of a championship game, they keep passing. I mean, Shanahan made that mistake in the Super Bowl 3 years ago. He was up 25, and instead of just grinding out the game and winning, he wanted to run up the score or do whatever, and he lost. So he didn't make that mistake this time. He evolved. He's improved. All credit to him. He's a really good coach, way better than I thought. And now he's legitimately in the Bill Walsh discussion. I mean, Walsh won the Super Bowl in his third year. Shanahan's in the Super Bowl in his third year. And what they have in common is they both basically started over. I mean, built a team from scratch. It's not like Harbaugh, who took a veteran team that had been mismanaged and poorly coached. Both Walsh and Shanahan started over and built a team with youngsters. So Shanahan's like one win away from being the Bill Walsh category, which is unfreaking believable. Good for him. Good for Saleh. Good for the 49ers. I always knew they could do it. I never doubted them. All right, that's my spiel. Let's see what you guys have to say. All right, Mr. Roscoe's. I'm jumping to the head of the line. Uh-oh, we got an echo. We got an echo.
No, we don't.
We got an echo.
We good.
We do.
Oh no, you was listening. I was listening on my phone. That's why.
Okay.
Hey, we going to the Super Bowl. It's lit. Hey, Grant. First off, tell all them haters they can kick rocks. You know, if they want to jump on you for telling it, even though I tried to tell you not to, tell it. I tried to tell you that we wasn't going 6-10. I mean, I said 16. I said 16-0, but injuries happen, so we didn't go 16-0. But I wanted to know, why did you give the receivers a B? I'm confused.
I mean, I would just give them the same grade that I gave Jimmy. The passing game was like not
didn't need it.
Didn't need it. I mean, they didn't do bad. They did what they needed to do, and I thought even though Debo made a big contribution, it wasn't all receiving. It was running too. He was really good. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That, I mean,
yeah,
I could rock with that. Okay, that makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah, I mean, our pat. Okay, we're gonna need our passing game in the Super Bowl, though.
Right.
Definitely.
No
But
question.
I think what you had to score what 31-13. Your prediction?
No, you did. I had the score 20-17. Remember we were talking yesterday.
Oh no, I had it 27-20.
Okay, okay. No, no, no. I had 2017. You know,
So,
I'm always over. I worry too much, man.
but I mean, I worry too much too because I was like, I gotta respect Aaron Rodgers, regardless. I gotta respect him. But this dude, remember in 2016 when Kyle Shanahan was offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons,
Yeah,
they blitzed Aaron Rodgers' team that year as
yeah,
well,
yeah. That's
and
true.
they went up like 21-0.
Yep,
And what did we do with now? What did he do with the Niners? We
yep,
blitzed Aaron Rodgers again.
yep,
So, man, the team was better than I even thought. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
And
yep.
honestly, the Niners could have put 50 if they wanted to.
It's crazy how good they are when they just give the ball to Raheem Mostert as much as possible. It's like
And we
we
talked
want.
about this too.
He's so good, and they like hold him back for I don't even know why, but they won't anymore. It seems like clearly the rest of the season they're going to ride with their best players, and that's kind of a scary thought because they haven't done that yet.
And just to think that Kittle and Sanders was not involved
I
in the
know.
pass. Oh
It was
man,
almost like trolling the Packers. Like we can beat you without him,
that's
him. Yeah,
that's what I said. I tweeted during the game. I was like, the Niners is playing mind games with the Packers right now because they was doing all these end arounds, toss plays to
yeah,
Debo. I mean, the Packers
yeah.
heads were just swirling around. They were running. They were running around like chickens with their head cut off. It was perfect. I
You
mean,
know,
this was the
it
perfect
reminded
game.
me of that Packers game, that Niners Packers playoff game where Colin Kaepernick ran for 180. It
Oh
was like
man,
that. Like they're
yeah.
just running in circles looking for the ball.
Matter of fact, Raheem Mostert passed him for the most yards in a
Yeah,
playoff
I
game
know, I
against the
know.
same team. I love it, man. But all right, man, I'll
Yeah,
let you get some other people on. But keep up the great work.
thanks, man.
You should take me
I'll
to the
talk.
Super Bowl too.
Yeah, man.
But
You
all
can
right,
hop in my.
bro.
All
We'll talk
right,
soon.
man. I'll talk to you
All right,
tomorrow.
man.
All right, all right. Let's see who's next. Yeah, see you, man. Let's get Cy. If we can get Cy. Oh, we can get Cy. Cy was at the game. Cy had boots on the ground.
Hey Grant, how are you?
I'm great. Are you at home? Did you make it back?
Yeah, I made it back home. But yeah, the stadium was rocking. So it was. I mean, even my voice is lost from all the screaming. But it was an awesome experience. It was awesome to see the team finally make it to the Super Bowl this year. So hey, a couple of things that came to, I mean, as you were talking through about the Staley, one thing that stood out to me was when Kyle and John they came over. They obviously cleaned the house, but I almost felt that the players they decided to keep back, they came through big time. I mean, in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, you could have said that, hey, we should have get rid of Eric Armstead, Jimmy Ward, Joe Staley, etc. I mean,
Tart,
but yeah, Todd. It is
Mostert.
like exactly. So
Yeah.
that was one thing
That's
that
a really good point. I love.
yeah.
You make terrific points. The players they inherited really stepped up. That's an interesting little irony.
Yep, exactly. And
Yeah.
it is like all the I mean, I think they got rid of most of the roster, but I think the few players that they decided to keep, which were also questionable decisions, but
Yeah.
all of those I felt that it panned out.
Yeah.
And the other thing that stood out to me was like, I mean, like the whole week, most of the folks were saying that like, oh, this game is going to be different and it's not going to be the same. But it was just,
That's what I thought. It was
yeah,
exactly the same. It was
correct. It was
exact
exactly the same. I mean, I too
carbon
felt
copy.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It would be different, but it was pretty much. I mean, even the score. I believe we were up 23-0 at the half, and this one was 27-0 at the half.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even that,
The
it
Packers were
was,
never in the game.
yeah, they were pretty. They were, yeah, they were never. I too felt that we pretty much shut down Davante in the first half, and most of the stuff like came in the second half, which was like, I mean, you could always question that they were playing prevent defense, and
Yeah.
uh, but but yeah, I mean, it was it was again amazing to see that Kyle, and I believe he mentioned it during the press conference this week as well, is that now that he has grown and learned, like how he realizes it's not all about passing, right? And
Right,
that's always,
right. That's interesting because if you think
yeah,
about it, like his background, he played wide receiver,
correct,
he played quarterback, he was a
correct,
quarterback's coach and a wide receivers coach. So like his natural tendency is to get
correct.
all the wide receivers involved, make them all feel good, throw the ball around, and that was one of the reasons he lost the Super Bowl. So he's evolved
Correct.
big time.
Exactly, and in some sense that's irony, right? If you have a offensive coordinator that's not the head coach, I mean, he's pretty much putting a showcase for his next job, which is the head coach,
Yeah,
and he always wants to show off. Nobody's going to hire
right,
because hey, you are running the
right,
ball really well.
right.
So in that sense, now that he's the head coach, he doesn't have to show off anymore, and
That's a great point.
yeah, it was
Totally
like
agree.
yeah, he
Totally
was like,
agree.
okay, just let me run it down the throat, yeah. But awesome, Grant. Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was great following you the entire week. I mean, the whole analysis and how it played out. It was just wonderful. Now on to the Super Bowl.
Thanks so much. We'll talk
Thanks,
soon.
thanks, Grant. Bye bye.
All right, Si. Okay, who's next? Oh, low key 85, definitely getting in next. Oh, but that didn't work, so I'm gonna have to try him later. All right, let's see what's up with Katie's burner. I saw someone making a little comment about the tweet I said about uh, Shanahan's reputation would be a lot better if he didn't have Mullins. I was referring to the fact that if he didn't have Mullins, he would have had to play with
What's up,
C.J.
Grant?
Beathard as his quarterback. What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh yeah, I was just looking at this thing from a week ago. You hear Matt LaFleur's speech to the Packers before they play the Niners?
No, tell me what happened.
Right, he was like, "All right, so after they beat the Seahawks, he was talking to everyone, and you know how like the main players, Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, like the Smith brothers, they weren't even in the room, and he
Are
was
you
like,
kidding?
"No,
Are you
I'm dead
serious?
serious," and he was like, "We got redemption down in Santa Clara this week,"
Shut
and
up,
everyone
dude.
was like, hella scared.
I'm sorry, man. He's not a leader, and he's not a good play caller. I mean, that Titans offense stunk last year. It improved big time once he left. And my hot take of the day, my main prediction is that this guy LaFleur will not be the head coach of the Packers 12 months from today. I think he's getting fired next year. I think the Packers are going to fall off big time. I have no idea how they won all these games this year. No clue.
Yeah, I could see that. I got like a question about like about how Shanahan is as a coach, like being around the team. Is he like a barker, or like what players coach? Like what kind of coach do you think he is?
I think he's blunt. I think he'll tell you exactly what you're doing wrong, but I don't think he's a yeller. I don't think he's a screamer. I think that's one of the ways that Saleh and Shanahan get along, relate so well to these millennial athletes, is they don't demean him or talk down to him. They talk to him like equals, and that means being blunt sometimes, being
Yeah,
candid, but it doesn't mean being condescending.
yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But this Chiefs, Mahomes, he's something I've never seen before.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Like next week, I feel like holding them to like 30 would be like a success.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And what this is, it's going to be a shootout. Like, well, it's going to have to be for the Niners to win. They're going to have to do what they did in New Orleans and score like
Yeah,
48.
yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Well, good
Thanks for
stuff,
the
man.
call.
Sure. Thanks for calling in. See who we can get in next. You know what, guys? I'm out of time. Phil's done. We're going to drive home. I'm sorry it was shorter tonight, but I didn't drive. Otherwise, I'd stay here for another hour. What I'll do, if it's cool with you, is let's pick up in the morning. Let's meet right here on Periscope, say 9. Does that work with you guys? Sorry, man. I would stay, but I didn't drive, and I'm not going to hold up another dude who lives in Napa and has to drive 2 hours. So thanks for watching. Normally, I would just stick through this, but if it's cool with you, I'll be back 9, 10. What do you guys prefer, 9 or 10? Let's say 9 because I don't know when Shanahan's going to talk. Shanahan might be talking at 11. So let's try 9 tomorrow, and I'll tweet it out and make it official, all right? Thanks, guys. Sorry to cut you off early. I promise I'll never do it again.